Stuart, you've got 55 players into a 4-day camp here in Loughborough. What are the objectives of bringing these players together at this time?
Reconnection. Obviously, everyone's had a 4-week break following the New Zealand tour. Some lads didn't go on it who are here. The pre-season games haven't really kicked in, so it's a good opportunity for us just to spend a bit of time together reviewing the tour, but more importantly looking forward to the QBEs and the Six Nations. And obviously this time, in a year's time exactly almost, we play France in a warm-up game, so that's not too far away either.
Where is the balance between looking back at the New Zealand tour, but then obviously looking forward to the QB internationals?
It's mainly about looking forward. We clearly, we are going to spend a bit of time reviewing the tour, and probably the big lessons was obviously taking your opportunities when they're presented, and that ruthlessness that you need. The difference in intensity and speed of game, particularly in the middle half of the second test and the start of the third test, where you've got to be up to the mark for the full 80 minutes. Having been ready and playing for 40, 50, 60, 70 minutes is not enough to beat these sides. And we knew that beforehand, but actually now they've experienced it, I think the players will be better for it, having had a decent break at the end of a long, hard season. We need to move on and start looking forward, and more importantly, give the players some key goals and objectives and things that we're looking for in the lead up to this season. So then when they go back to the clubs, they've got real clarity over what we're looking for and how they can develop their game to suit the progression we're making as a team. It's also a bit of it's a good opportunity conditioning-wise and physically for the players to build on what they've done with the clubs. And our medical team and performance teams to identify where players are strong and where areas of weaknesses can be improved to make us those world-class athletes that we're going to need to win the World Cup.
Is winning a skill you can acquire, do you think? Is it something that teams can get better at over time?
Well, New Zealand haven't done a bad job, so yeah, you'd say it was. But you don't win if you don't get the basics right. So you've got to respect the basics, get the scrum, the line out, the breakdown. Defensively, you've got to be strong. You've got to be set and organised. So you've got to get those basics right in order to win, but then you've got to layer on that an X factor and a point of difference as a team that enables you to create problems for what are pretty well organised and pretty good conditioned athletes you're playing against also.
You've spoken about building the team and growing experience throughout your tenure. Do results become the most important things you look forward to the QBEs now?
Yeah, obviously, building the team is key as well. Looking and fielding established combinations, so making sure that we've got that strength in depth, however, that we need to build that World Cup squad to go into the pool stages and hopefully the playoffs in a strong position. But it'll come down to results ultimately when November comes around, I'm sure. You mentioned combinations. There's 12 games, I think, now into the World Cup. How important is it that you get those combinations together and playing regularly in the course of that? Well, this 12-month period you've got left. Yeah, well, we had a very established combination during the Six Nations. The same backline played in all 5 games. Obviously, had some enforced changes through players not being available for the first test through the Premiership final, through injuries to Billy Twelvetrees, Danny Kerr, etc. So, it did change the side we had to pick. But I don't see that as a negative, to be honest. I see it as an opportunity to look at others, and no team goes through a World Cup campaign playing the same team throughout. It just doesn't happen. You've got 4 games in 4 weeks. We've got 4 big games, as you can see from the draw. And if you get through that, you've then got a quarter-final, semi-final, final. So you need a squad of 31, and consistency is key, but also understanding that there's going to be changes along the way and making sure you can interchange players with minimum disruption. How close do you think you are to knowing your best team now? How close do you think you are 12 months out from a World Cup? Well, I'll say again, I don't think it's just about the best team. I think it's about the squad. I'm not going to turn around and say, I've got it nailed down, because what does that say to everyone else? You've got to keep the door open. You never know who's going to have a great start to the season or who's going to develop. This time last year, 2 or 3 players who weren't even considered ended up playing for us and playing extremely well in the Six Nations. So 12 months is a long time. There's a lot that can happen in 12 months, so we don't want to nail our colours to the mast too early.